Let me show you something. You remember that sound, don't you? That demonic robot whale mating call that meant that the internet was about to bless your home. That wasn't just the sound, though. That was the starting gun. Because whether you realize it or not, we weren't just kids in the 80s and 90s. We were beta testers for modern life. And nobody told us that we were the trial version. You see, Gen X, they got analog adulthood. Millennials got a fully digital childhood. But us, we were the last analog kids and the first digital guinea pigs. We learned cursive and then immediately had to stop using it. We wrote book reports from encyclopedias and then 2 years later discovered Wikipedia and realized that we suffered for no reason. We grew up knocking on doors and asking, is so-and-so home? Now we text, you alive? And panic if they don't answer within 6 minutes. We called house phones, and we prayed that somebody's dad didn't answer. Now we carry supercomputers that track our steps, our thoughts, and probably our snacks. And somehow that happened in 8 years. 8. So let's talk about that experiment, because it was an experiment. When Windows 95 dropped, nobody knew what this would turn into. When AOL handed out free trial CDs like Halloween candy, they weren't just giving us the internet. They were opening Pandora's chat room. When we were 13 years old in AIM chats talking to somebody named Skate 8er Boy 420, we had zero survival instincts. Parents didn't know how to check browsers. Teachers didn't know what a firewall was. And we're out here building online personalities like it was a dress rehearsal for adulthood. We put our full names, our schools, our interests, our embarrassing poetry, our MySpace for everyone. And Tom just watched silently like a benevolent tech deity, bless his pixelated soul. And here's where this gets weird. We watched the internet grow up. At first, it was messy, wild, creative. You had GeoCity pages that looked like glitter bombs went off in a hot topic. And then came Facebook. It started innocent. College kids posting party pics on passive-aggressive relationship statuses. And then slowly, the algorithm learned. It learned what made us mad. It learned what made us click, what made us stay. And before we knew it, the playground turned into a mall because everything was monetized, everything optimized, everything watched. We didn't just use the internet studied and used us. We were the lab rats with dial-up. And here's the part that nobody talks about. We remember silence. We remember being unreachable. When you left the house, that was it. There was no GPS, no read receipt, no last seen at 9:42 p.m. If you were out riding bikes until the streetlights came on, you were a ghost. And now, if someone doesn't answer a text in 12 minutes, we assume that they've been abducted or that they're mad at us. We were the last generation that knew boredom. The deep staring at the ceiling invent a new game kind of boredom. Now boredom gets murdered in 0.3 seconds by scrolling. We grew up waiting for photos to be developed. Now we delete memories. And let's not even start out on music. You know what? We will start on music because we recorded songs off the radio. We prayed that the DJ wouldn't talk over the introduction. Now we discovered Napster and collectively said, oh, so piracy is just sharing, allegedly. And now we pay monthly subscriptions to access music that we'll never physically hold. We went from mixtapes to burned CDs to iPods to streaming libraries we don't own. And that's not beta testing capitalism. I don't know what is. But here's the twist. We're the only ones who can see both worlds clearly. We know what we gained because we know what we lost. We gained convenience, connection, and access to infinite knowledge, but we also lost mystery, patience. We lost the art of not knowing. We're the only generation that remembers a world before constant notification anxiety and lives inside of it anyway. That's wild. That's don't squat with your spurs on level anxiety. We built the digital corral and now we're surprised that the fence is electric. So here's my question to you. What was your first email address? Now don't lie. We all had one that would get us denied on a mortgage today. What song was burned on every CD that you made? Did your parents have any ideas of what you were doing online, or were they just happy that the phone line was busy so you weren't calling long distance? Tell me in the comments, because this isn't just nostalgia. This is documentation. We weren't lucky, we weren't unlucky. We were the bridge, the beta test, the patch notes that nobody read. And now we're raising kids who think Wi-Fi is a human right. Meanwhile, we still hear dial-up in our nightmares, and somehow we're fine. Well, mostly. Slower than molasses in January when it comes to TikTok trends, but fine. And that's the Xennial aftermath. If this hits you, write an AIM away message, like and subscribe. And next time, we're talking about the real villain of our childhood,